Hi, everybody. Happy Monday. I hope you guys have a good week. I want to talk to you guys today about adverse childhood experiences. Did you know that your adverse childhood experiences, and I'll give you some examples in a few minutes, basically trauma, abuse, neglect, etc., it lowers your life expectancy? Did you know that? It also increases your likelihood of having substance abuse problems, mental health problems, and instability. So, what are adverse childhood experiences? There was a CDC study, CDC and Kaiser study done, and they ask, I believe it's 10, I know it's 10 questions to help you determine how many adverse childhood experiences you had growing up. And here's the thing, it does not account for things like race and gender or disabilities. And so just take that into account. But it does talk about trauma in the home. All right, so here are the questions. Did a parent or other adult in the household often or very often swear at you, insult you, put you down, humiliate you, or act in a way that made you afraid that you may be physically hurt? Did a parent or other adult in the household very often push, grab, slap, throw, or throw something at you, or ever hit you so hard that you had marks or were injured? Did an adult or person at least 5 years older than you ever touch or fondle you, or have you touch their body in a sexual way, or attempt to actually have oral, anal, or vaginal intercourse with you? Did you often or very often feel that no one in your family loved you or thought you were important or special, or your family didn't look out for each other, feel close to each other, or support each other? Halfway through, did you often or very often feel that you didn't have enough to eat, had to wear dirty clothes, had no one to protect you, or that your parents were too drunk or high to take care of you or take you to the doctor if you needed it? Were your parents ever separated or divorced? Was your mother or stepmother often very pushed, grabbed, or slapped? Very often pushed, grabbed, or slapped, or had something thrown at her? Or sometimes often, or very often kicked, bitten, hit with a fist, or hit with something hard? Or ever repeatedly hit over at least a few minutes or threatened with a gun or knife? Almost done. Did you live with anyone who was a problem drinker or alcoholic, or who used street drugs? Was a household member depressed or mentally ill, or did a household member attempt suicide? And did a household member go to prison? Is the last question. If you have more than four, that means that things are starting to get serious. That things were very serious in your life. And again, it also doesn't take into account a lot of things, but it's a good starting place to determine whether or not it doesn't include adult trauma like going to war, right? Veteran PTSD or losing a spouse, right? So what's really interesting is that this is all just stuff from childhood that you may have felt like you got over, and it doesn't even include the things that you experienced as an adult. So the likelihood of chronic pulmonary lung disease increases 390%, hepatitis 240%, depression 460%, and suicide 1,220% if your adverse childhood experiences are four or more. It's also important to remember that it's a guideline. So just because you didn't have that kind of trauma in your life, that doesn't mean that you didn't experience trauma. Trauma can look like the things that weren't done, like listening to your feelings, acknowledging your feelings, being home for you, giving you hugs, encouraging you, giving you proper boundaries, right? It can also look like things that weren't done. And so, take that into account too as you feel into, your childhood. What's really good to know, though, is that our brains and lives are somewhat plastic, meaning neuroplasticity, which means our mental and physical health can actually improve. And what you can do is, in order to heal, is you ask for help. Develop trusting relationships, which is absolutely critical in trauma healing. forming a positive attitude and not bypassing or gaslighting yourself, but genuinely looking at where your adverse experiences fit into the arc of your life and how maybe you can use them to your advantage, and listening to your own feelings, holding space for your own feelings, getting in your body. By doing those things, you can actually heal these adverse childhood experiences and regain, literally add years to your life, regain your life expectancy, and increase your life expectancy. All right, I hope that was helpful. I want to let you guys know that I have a Quantum Vision Challenge coming up on October 12th. It's a 5-day challenge. It's completely free unless you upgrade to VIP, in which case you'll get a session with Krisha, a strategy session with Krisha, and access to a closed-door VIP Q&A session. Look for the landing page. I'm actually going to post the link below here. In the comments, look for the landing page there, and to sign up, all you have to do is put in your name and email. That will put you on our email list so you can stay in touch and be up to date on all things Quantum Vision Challenge related and Quantum Self-Mastery related as well. All right, have a good one. See you next Monday and have a great week.